Many nice guys are annoyed about the fact that women feel attracted to bad boys, but the nice guy has a dirty little secret, and that is that he is attracted to the female equivalent of bad boys, which are the bad women in porn, right? Bad girls in porn. The nice guy will talk to women as though he's only nice, but he has a naughty side too. And women know that about life. They know that life isn't all just nice. There is a naughty side too, and it doesn't have to be a huge naughty side, but everyone has that naughty side where they aren't just nice all the time. So what happens is that when a man is only being nice towards a woman, right, he's being nice as he talks to her, he's being maybe complimentary, he's being agreeable, he's being polite and avoiding anything in the conversation that may be a bit of a challenge towards her or maybe disagreeing with her about something and so on. He's just being nice. The woman knows that something isn't right. He's not being authentic. Right? He cannot just be that nice. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem as though he is being real with her. And then either a bad boy will come along or a good guy who is more authentic, and she'll feel attracted to those guys, but she won't feel attracted to the nice guy. Something will seem off. It doesn't mean that a man shouldn't treat a woman well or that women want to be treated like crap. That's the way to get women to like you. Instead, what's really going on is that the woman is feeling attracted to the guy's authenticity, the fact that he has the courage to be himself in the moment. And in some cases, when a nice guy is asked why he's so nice to women, he will respond with something like, "It's just who I am. It's just the way that I am. I was raised to be respectful towards women. I'm just a nice person. I'm just not like these other people. I'm just nice." But the reality is that he does have some naughty thoughts. Right? And he's not all nice. For example, when he's laying in bed at night before he goes to sleep and he's imagining things, he's not just imagining all sorts of nice things. At times, he's going to be having some naughty thoughts. He's going to be imagining himself doing something that might be a bit naughty. He might also imagine himself talking to people and women in a much more confident way, being much more self-assured, being a bit more bold. But when he starts interacting with a woman that he finds attractive, what he presents to her is just niceness. And for some guys, they're not overly nice or anything like that, but instead they're just nice in a quite neutral way. And the guy presents himself as just a neutral, friendly, nice kind of man. He's not like those super nice guys who are really sucking up to women and giving lots of compliments and acting really innocent. He's not like that. But he's somewhere in the middle where he's presenting himself as just a nice, friendly, neutral guy. He doesn't have any sexual interest in the woman. He's not trying to make her feel attracted. He's not trying to flirt with her or anything like that. He's just a nice, neutral guy. He's a good guy. Right? And for a lot of guys, they have a fantasy in their mind that one day women are going to really appreciate that about them. And they're going to think, well, isn't this guy a good guy? Right? He's not like all these other pricks out there. And he's not a bad guy or a bad boy. He's just this nice, good guy. Wow. It's been so difficult to find a guy like this. I'm just going to go for it. And she's going to ask him out. She's going to make it obvious that she likes him. And he's going to get a result with her because he's not like those other guys who just think about sex or something like that. Women are not sexual objects, You're not allowed to look at women in a way where you feel sexually attracted to them. You just got to be neutral. And, I'm just a good guy and don't have any interest in having sex. Just, want to have a chat. Just want to talk. But what happens then is that the guy ends up in the friend zone, or the woman senses that he does find her attractive, but he either lacks the confidence to do something about it, or he wants to do something about it, but he feels like it might be wrong, right? It's wrong to show sexual interest in a woman. And then a bad boy, or what I call a good guy with edge, will come along, and he won't be afraid to create a sexual vibe with the woman. And, for example, the good guy with edge, he'll be talking to a woman in a way where he is a good guy. But what he does differently compared to a nice, neutral, good guy is that he has some edge. And the edge can be something like flirting, or he can create a sexual vibe as he's interacting with the woman, or he can use what I call playfully challenging humor. And so, for example, if a nice guy is talking to a woman and she asks what he does for a living, most nice guys will just answer. So, for example, she might ask, "Oh, what do you do?" And he says, "Oh, I work for ABC Corporation in the CBD. Yeah, how about you?" And then just being nice, just being agreeable, just answering all of her questions. I'll answer all this girl's questions. She can ask me whatever she wants, and I'll give her straightforward answers. I'll just show her that I'm a respectful guy. I listen to women. I follow women's instructions. Anything that the woman wants to ask me, I'll answer it. Whereas a bad boy or a good guy with edge won't be so agreeable all the time, right? And that attracts the woman because the guy is being authentic rather than only being nice. He shows that he has some edge, or you could call that some naughtiness, right? But he has some edge where she asks what he does for a living, and rather than just answering her questions like a good boy, or just showing her that he's going to be compliant with everything that she wants to talk about, he has the confidence, the courage to get her to guess. Have a guess. Or he may tell her to have a look at him first and give the impression that maybe he is a model or something like that, which is obviously not going to be the case for me, but is something that I used when I was single, and women found it funny, they found it attractive, and they were a bit confused and curious about it because obviously I'm not going to be working as a model. But when I was single, I would say things like, well, have a look at me. What do you reckon? What do you think? Take a guess. And because of things like that, the woman then realizes that, okay, this guy is not putting on an act of being nicer than he is or wants to be. He's actually showing that he's not one-dimensional and just nice and compliant, right? Whatever she wants to talk about, I'll talk about. I'll just show her that I'm just this good guy. I've got these great values, and I feel the same way about you about that, and we've got that in common, and let's just be as nice as possible and get along with her as much as possible to hopefully then be given a chance with her. But a woman can sense when a guy is being nicer than he really is or wants to be, right? So there are so many different ways that you can display authenticity to a woman when you're interacting with her, rather than just being nice, being agreeable, and so on. And when a woman senses that you have that authenticity, she then realizes that she is likely interacting with the real version of you, or pretty much the real version of you, right? There's probably more to you than meets the eye, but you're at least showing her that you're not only being nice and trying to put on that act of being Mr. Nice or Mr. Neutral and just Mr. Friendly and professional, that you're actually showing her that you're not afraid to let her see that you're not just all nice, right? There is a bit of edge to you, or what may be called naughtiness, right? Naughty and nice. You have that extra bit to you, and you're not trying to hide it. Because women aren't turned off by the naughty side, but they definitely don't want a guy who comes over and is just being naughty. Instead, it's what I refer to as edge, right? It's not the entire picture of you, it's just that you do have that edge to you. And another thing that shows a woman that you have that edge is where you're able to flirt with her. And a bad boy is able to do that, and a good guy with edge. Whereas a nice guy, even though secretly he feels attracted to the bad girls, the bad women, right? The female equivalent of bad boys, those bad women in porn, who are allowing themselves to be recorded naked and having sex and posting it all over the internet, right? They're bad girls for doing that. They're the female equivalent of bad boys, even though he feels intensely attracted to those women. And he does have a sexual side to him. He does have a bit of naughtiness. When he interacts with a woman, he refrains from flirting. He doesn't flirt. He just wants to show her that he's a good guy. I'm just a good guy. I have good opinions, good values, good intentions. Everything's just good. But the woman can see, based on how he's looking at her. She'll catch him looking at her, and she'll sense with his body language that he's feeling attracted to her, and he finds her sexually attractive, but he's not flirting with her. Whereas a bad boy or a good guy with edge will start interacting with the woman, and he won't be afraid to show that side of himself, that he has a sexual interest in her. And flirting isn't something that's sleazy. It's not something that women see as too forward or wrong. Flirting is a discreet language that men and women use to communicate their sexual interest in each other. And it's about showing your sexual attraction for her, but only in a playful way, in a non-serious way, right? It's not about saying to her that you want to have sex with her, or, hey, nice boobs, hey, nice butt, let me grab it, and so on. Instead, flirting is usually very subtle. And for example, if a woman catches a bad boy or a good guy with edge checking her out, and he's checking her out like that, and she catches him, he's not going to sort of look away and think that he's just been busted now, like a nice guy. A nice guy who's pretending that he has no naughty side, no edge, and he's just all nice, right? If he's looking at a woman and she catches him looking, he'll sort of look away like that, or he'll start feeling a bit uncomfortable now, like, oh gosh, she saw me looking at her cleavage, or she saw me checking out her butt. And she knows now that he's not being authentic, right? He is hiding something there. He's not being real. But a good guy with edge, or a bad boy, if he's checking a woman out and she catches him, he'll be able to smile at her, right? And not be afraid. And she'll know now that, okay, he finds her sexually attractive, but he's not being sleazy about it, right? He's not looking at her going, yeah. And she looks at him and he's like, yeah, nice boob sort of thing. Looking at her butt like that. He's not being sleazy about it. Instead, there's more of a playfulness and non-seriousness to the fact that he finds her sexually attractive when he looks at her and she catches him and he gives her a smile. And it's just subtle. And it's non-serious. It's not too forward. It's just a subtle understanding between him and the woman that he finds her attractive. And since she will be feeling attracted to him too because of his confidence and authenticity, his emotional masculinity, his presence, and so on, because she'll be feeling attracted to that edge about him, when she sees that he's checking her out and he gives her a smile like that, she then smiles back because she's feeling attracted to him too. And now there's a mutual understanding between the two of them that they find each other sexually attractive. And if a nice guy is in that interaction too and he sees that, he'd be thinking, well, what's going on here? Why is she liking him? He seems to be, interested in sex or something. He seems to be a little bit like a bad boy, right? He's not going to treat her as nicely as I would, right? I'm really freaking nice. I've been talking to this woman for 30 minutes or maybe 2 hours, and this guy just comes in now and they're looking at each other like that. Why are women like this? Like, I'm nice. Why can't women just like me because I'm nice? But then he goes home and jerks off to the female equivalent of bad boys, which are the bad women, in porn. And he really enjoys it. And he's having all sorts of enjoyable thoughts and naughty thoughts while he's jerking off to that porn. But then he thinks that women are bad for liking a little bit of naughtiness there, a bit of edge. So I hope this insight will help you understand that there's nothing wrong with being a bit more real, having a bit of edge. Women don't see it as a bad thing, right? And you don't have to become a bad person to have edge, right? Things that give you edge are natural, right? Where you will use some flirting or what I call playfully challenging humor, or you'll be a bit assertive rather than being passive, or you'll display high status behavior rather than low status behavior when you're interacting with the woman. Traits like that are completely natural, and you're either displaying the trait that attracts the woman or the trait that turns the woman off. For example, the opposite of confidence is insecurity, right? And the opposite of high status behavior is low status behavior. And an example of low status behavior is seeking the woman's approval, right? Seeing her as the one who is going to decide whether or not you're good enough, and essentially coming across in that way, even if subtly. Right? Some guys will be really obvious with it, where they sort of have that wide-eyed, innocent sort of look, and other guys will be trying to show off and hope that the woman gives them a chance if they can just impress her enough, and the woman then feels like she is higher status, higher value, because the guy sees her as being more valuable than him, having higher status, and he's hopefully going to get a chance with her, when the same guy could be displaying high status behavior as he interacts with her and causing her to naturally then want to impress him. These traits are available to you as a human being, and you're either using the trait that attracts or turns a woman off. And if you'd like to learn all of the traits that make women feel sexually and romantically attracted to you, then I recommend that you start watching my Attraction Mastery video lesson series. The guys who've been learning my techniques and applying them are getting results like this, where they kiss women within minutes of meeting them, they have sex with women on the first night, and some guys just want to be able to get a girlfriend. That's fine. For some guys, having sex with a woman on the first night is a little bit too much for them, whereas for other guys, it's a lot of fun. Right? It really depends on who you are and what you want, but when you know how to make women feel attracted, you have the option of either having sex with a lot of women or getting a girlfriend, right? Becoming a couple. Having women ask to be your girlfriend, having women start to talk about marriage with you, having women really want to be with you, right? Where with this guy, the woman wouldn't let go of him, right? It happens again and again and again for guys who are learning my techniques when they apply it, because what makes women feel attracted is completely natural. You're either displaying unattractive traits or attractive traits when you interact with women, and when you start displaying attractive traits, women feel attracted to you. It's as simple as that. So if you'd like to learn my attraction secrets that unlock that power for you, then check out Attraction Mastery. Alternatively, if you'd like to continue learning from me on YouTube right now about how to attract women and make them want you, here's a video that I recommend you watch.